is a horse who's won $4.3 million. We'd all like to own one like this.
I sadly had to share my third with my business partner is in New York, but I would love to have kept a little bit more, 5 or 6, and you'll shake the life.
Hi, I'm Michael Angelos and welcome to At the Stables 2024 style. Today is the first of a series of interviews where we get to meet some of John's owners. These interviews were actually done last year in the spring at our Sunday at the Stables, a day where you owners are invited out to the stables to meet the team and get up close and personal with our equine athletes. This first interview you're going to love. He's a great character and he's someone that I'm sure, going to recognise. You're about to be entertained by the great man, Daniel MacPherson.
Good clap. Good clap.
I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you that I'm here at the stables with Daniel MacPherson. And mate, I don't know whether to do this interview or ask for your autograph, but thanks for being here.
Mate, my pleasure to be here. I don't think the autograph's worth too much these days. About 10 years too late, I
sell
reckon.
yourself short. But I love this guy. He's passionate about racing, and that's what the racing industry, passionate people, and Daniel's one of them. And I ever heard before that you got involved from a very, very young age.
Yeah, I did. My parents made the mistake of going away on holidays when I was about 4 years old and leaving with my grandma. And my grandparents, they're one of those kitchens that always had 2KY racing radio on all day.
Love it.
And then grandma took me down to the TAB at Southgate shopping centre in Sylvania Heights, and I won $5 on Kiwi, I think when I was about 4 years old.
1983.
1983, so I was 3 about to turn 4.
I'm showing my age. I was at the Melbourne Cup that day.
And that was it, you know. What do they say? Get them before you're 5 and you got them for life. Well, there you go. That was pretty much how it started.
He's officially now a victim, but that's great. It's
No, we call it racing enthusiast. I think is what we call it. Yeah.
Speaking of which, you're very enthusiastic about your breeding.
Yeah, so sort of, I did have a little break after I turned 4 years old, away from racing until I was in my late teens, and I was in Melbourne doing Neighbours and then City Homicide, and Melbourne, great racing city, and Channel 10, who I worked for at the time, was sponsoring the Spring Carnival, so I used to go out to Flemington throughout Cup Week and then out to Caulfield as well, and really loved it, and through there, then I started going out to track work, because I just loved the characters and loved the people and loved the sort of behind the scenes kind of racing world, and then that led to ownership and whatnot, and now 20 something years later I got this little breeding business with a couple of business partners, and it's something that, you know, down the track I'd love to, when the acting sort of dries up or when I want time away, I'll have a little farm somewhere up the coast, and the goal is to have a little band of broodmares running around. We've got 3 at the moment going into in the breeding shed this year, so yeah, it's going well, and I love it. You know, I spend more time researching pedigrees than I do reading my scripts half the time.
There's a lot of history in those pages.
There
if you
is.
think about it, right?
There is.
And read the ownership.
Yep.
Because you race a few, obviously. One of which is Solitaire.
Solitaire, yeah.
Raced down the straight at Flemington the other day.
Yep.
You must love that, obviously.
Oh, it's exciting. You know, it really is. You know, a horse like Solitaire comes out and gets pipped by a nostril at its first start, behind a very good horse there in Blanc de Blanc. Comes out and wins a $500,000 race at a second start. Look at the grin on my face as I say that. You know, in December of a 2-year-old season. So they're the kind of horses that you love having. Others take a lot more time and a lot more patience and don't return quite as much. But Solitaire's, you know, exciting.
Well, they say you make your own luck, and Daniel works hard at it, so you deserve it, mate.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, I was watching the Channel 7 the other day, the day that Solitaire was racing, and there were you on screen, and you don't need me to tell you this, but you should be on that panel on Channel 7, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you very much.
What can we do for you?
Yeah, look. Hopefully, I think there have been some conversations had behind the scenes, but certainly love my racing and particularly in the breeding side of things. But in the last 5 years, I've really gone and learnt as much as I could about the sport and about the industry, and now got some great friends and mentors. You know, people like yourselves here at the stable, people like Mick Malone and Paul Massara, and even Tom Magna's become a good buddy and helper. So, you know, that kind of information and that kind of experience has been invaluable. And then, well, yeah, there's a couple of thousand hours of live TV experience as well. So maybe the two worlds might meet, and I'd love to do it. Yeah,
You'd be fantastic at it.
thank you.
Now, I'm going to segue across to the movie world.
Yep.
And I've got a passion for racing like you, and I love racing movies.
Yeah.
One of my favourite movies, because it's such an amazing story, The Cup,
Yeah.
which you starred in.
Yep.
As
I played Jason Oliver. I played Damien's brother Jason. That's right.
so, in such a
10 years and 10
story,
kilos ago.
But it was like, it would have been emotional. Yeah?
Oh, it was hugely emotional. I mean, the entire premise of that film was based around the loss of Jason and how Damien and his family, overcame that loss, and in true sporting theatre that only sport can deliver, Damien gets back on a horse called Media Puzzle and goes and wins the Melbourne Cup. And our story of that film was a bunch of reasons why that horse should not have won, and why Damien probably would have been easily excused to not ride in that race. And you still get goosebumps thinking about that moment. My boy, him, that iconic moment, looking up to the heavens, screaming to his brother. So that movie, we knew it was going to be something special, and to have Damien and his family give us the access that they did to do the research, and for me as a racing fan to really get to go and spend some time, again, track work in some of the behind the scenes jockeys world where no one really gets to see. And it's the closest I've ever come to actually sitting on a horse, galloping down a straight on a racehorse. We were being led down at Mornington Racecourse. It was like the end of the race, and we were being led back in, and I'd won the race as Jason, and just kind of cantering into a bit of a trot back on a thoroughbred, waving to the stands, was the closest I'll ever come to winning a race on a horseback down here at Randwick, but it's still pretty special.
How did you end up with that role in the Cup? Does that just be because of your love of racing? Was that a factor, or just...
No, it's because I'm 5'7". No, because I had to audition for that. I had to audition for that a few times, and then I got down to 68 kilos for that role. Yeah, so I went through a proper, I wanted to take it pretty seriously, and obviously it was a really, a really significant role, given that, what the Oliver family had been through and whatnot. So I went a little bit method on that one, and got very, very skinny, and spent 3 months hanging out with horses and jockeys.
Well, D-Mac, thank you for your time here at the stables.
My absolute pleasure.
It's been my pleasure, and look forward to seeing you at the track, mate.
Look forward to it, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much.
We're done now. We cut.
Yeah.
We finished.
Where's my son?
Mate, can I get your autograph now? Really? Can I get your autograph?
Yeah. What was your name again?
Michael. Just make that to my wife, Catherine, because she's a big fan.
Hey, Catherine, I'm Dan.
Precious, please tell me. You gave me Daniel MacPherson on Channel 7. I now need to know more. Musaka, Simsalabim, Abracadabra. Please give me the quadriller at Flemington.